Did you know that most people underestimate how much they're actually spending each month? Sometimes they underestimate it by hundreds of pounds, yet the majority of that spending happens in small automatic transactions that barely even get noticed. So today, I want to talk to you about how you can expose your hidden money leaks, how to reset your financial habits, and avoid becoming yet one more person who earns more every year, but quietly drifts into financial stress without understanding why. Welcome back to my Daily Wins podcast. Let me ask you something. If I froze your non-essential spending for the next 7 days, how uncomfortable would that make you feel? So no takeaways, no impulse Amazon purchases, no just because spending. Because if that lack of ability to spend on the non-essential things would be uncomfortable for you, that discomfort is very, very telling. And today's daily win is to try and think about a spending freeze challenge for 1 week. Not forever, not just 7 days, not a complete freeze on everything that you buy, just a spending freeze on the non essential items. And what you discover might just surprise you, because here are 10 things you probably don't know about this habit. Number one, it instantly increases awareness of habitual spending. Number two, it exposes emotional triggers behind the purchases that you make. Number three, it resets dopamine patterns that are linked to your buying. Number four, it builds short-term discipline that transfers to other habits that you have. Number five, it reduces background financial anxiety. Number six, it strengthens delayed gratification, which we are all for in this podcast. Number seven, it highlights unnecessary subscriptions and leaks. Number eight, it creates immediate surplus cash. Number nine, it builds confidence in your self control. And number 10, it clarifies the difference between needs and wants. Because most people don't have an income problem, they have what I would call an awareness problem. So, as we think about that in the back of our minds, I'm going to move into our Would You Rather segment. Would you rather win versus drift? I'm going to run through a habit of scenarios and I want you to have a think about whether you are currently winning or drifting in these scenarios and whether in the future you would like to be winning or drifting. Number one, would you rather feel slightly restricted for 7 days or financially restricted long term? Would you rather choose where your money goes or wonder where your money went? Would you rather build savings quietly or would you rather maintain lifestyle creep? Would you rather gain control or would you rather stay reactive? You see, I'm asking you which direction your current habits are reinforcing, but what is so important about asking questions like this is that you can't be doing both. Nobody who is building their savings quietly is also suffering from lifestyle creep at the same time. Nobody who has control over their finances feels like they're constantly firefighting with reactive measures. Nobody who is choosing where their money goes is wondering where their money went. So you can only do one or the other. And don't feel bad or beat yourself up in any way if you feel like you're drifting in some of these, because even some of the smartest people amongst us, even some of the most intelligent, capable adults, don't do things like spending freezes because spending feels harmless, especially small spending. Things that only cost £5 or £9 or £15. But those small repeated decisions, they compound. We also attach identity to our spending. We're just treating ourselves. We're just rewarding the hard work. We're just keeping up. We just deserve it. And modern payment systems also remove any form of friction that previously might have helped us. We've got contactless one-click checkouts, auto renewals. Friction used to slow us down. It used to be helpful, but now with the way everything is developed and is working, it doesn't even help us anymore. It doesn't create any friction anymore. In fact, it makes things even easier. So discipline has to replace the friction that used to be there. And a spending freeze challenge reintroduces some of the awareness that we need to rebuild that discipline. So don't worry about where you are now. Let's have a think about where we want to be in the future. So we do our future you check in. I want you to picture yourself 10 years from now. Do you want that version of you to still have the same automatic spending patterns, the same small money leaks, the same small justifications, the same feeling of being a bit stuck as far as your finances are concerned, that same feeling of being not quite where you want to be as far as your finances are concerned? Or do you want to see yourself in 5 years, 5 or years, 5 or 10 years from now, having greater savings, having more investments, having a bigger emergency buffer, having, in one way, shape, or form, greater freedom as far as your finances are concerned? Which version feels calmer? Which version feels like they have more options? Because, like I said earlier, your current path will not enable you to do both. And using a tip like this and focusing on just 7 days in the grand scheme of your life for just cutting out the non essential items, that can go a long way towards changing the trajectory that you are currently on. So, let's translate this into a real life example. If you save £150 during a spending freeze week, that, call it 600 quid a month if you do it every week, that is over £7,000 a year. You invest that money over 10 to 20 years, compounding away in the background, that is a significant difference. That is a significant financial margin that you don't currently have. That is an amount of money that can reduce your stress. That reduced stress can improve your sleep. Better sleep can improve the decisions you make the next day. Those better decisions can help you earn even more income. You see, money isn't just financial, it's emotional. And control over that money reduces so much of the anxiety that can be a byproduct of it in the first place. So if you're thinking, okay, yeah, this sounds great. 7 days seems a bit extreme. What's one little tiny upgrade I could do now instead? This is how you could implement this practically. Step one, just define what non essential means to you. So things like your food, your rent, your utilities, your travel expenses, those things all stay. You still have to clearly pay for those things every day, but the impulse buys go. Step two, remove temptation. Unsubscribe from some marketing emails from a week. You'll probably end up getting more promotions when you sign back up in a week's time anyway. Delete any apps that have your card details saved on them, or just delete the saved card details from your phone. Mute some of the shopping apps that you use. So for that week, you're not constantly getting bombarded with alerts, with offers, with temptations that are going to make you want to go back to the one-click checkouts. Then step three, track every urge that you have to spend. So as well as tracking the things that you do buy, track the things that you want to buy, because that is where awareness lives. And that is where the value lies in helping us develop the discipline to make this more than just something you do on one given week and turn it into something that can create a ripple effect that can redirect your entire life's journey. And if you are able to see this through for the whole week, let's have a think about the type of ripple effect that that could create for you. So you freeze your spending for non-essential items, your awareness increases, your impulse decreases, your savings go up, your stress drops, your confidence builds, your financial control strengthens. So we can go through that one by one. We know that the whole point of this is to freeze the spending on the non-essential items. We can note down what we want to buy, but we're not going to buy them. Think of it as I'm just putting a 1 week pause on these purchases and I'll buy them next week. So you freeze the spending. Because we're then logging everything that we want to buy, we're becoming so much more aware of our behavior, of the things that are tempting us, of the rate at which we're looking at spending the money, on the circumstances around which we're looking at spending that money. So our awareness in so many different ways is increasing because the awareness is increasing and because we're deferring the purchase until next week. And for some of those purchases, we may not even go back and buy them next week because we'll realize we don't need them. But because we're increasing that awareness, the number of impulse purchases we're making is going to reduce because we're literally banning ourselves from making that purchase this week. So purchases decrease, we're spending less, so our savings actually rise. When we have more savings, our financial stress can only drop. Our financial stress is never going to get greater the more money we have. It's only going to drop. And when we have the frozen spending, the increased awareness, the decrease in the impulse buys, the more savings and less stress, our confidence is naturally going to build because we're addressing something about our life where we currently feel stuck. We're putting a plan in place, we're achieving that plan, we are acknowledging to ourselves that we are able to follow through with our word and with our intentions and with our aims and our goals, so our confidence goes up. And when you wrap all of that up together, we've just got greater financial control over our circumstances. so our financial control strengthens. 1 week, that is all this takes. 1 week just for your non essential items to be frozen, and it can create an enormous long term ripple effect. And as you know, I always like to go through the health, wealth, and happiness ripple effects for every daily win that we do. And I think this one is really just quite telling. So, from a health perspective, we're reducing financial stress, which lowers cortisol and it improves sleep quality. Chronic financial anxiety has measurable impacts on our cardiovascular and our mental health. So, by gaining this financial control and by building this confidence, we are doing so much to improve our health over time. From a wealth perspective, a spending freeze challenge increases the amount we save. It improves our awareness and our long term financial resilience. Compounding only works when money isn't constantly leaking out. Have you ever heard of compound interest being referred to as the eighth wonder of the world? All you need to give compound interest is time. But to give compound interest the time to work, you need to have the money there in the first place to benefit from the compound interest. And we're going to get that money there by stopping the amount that leaks away through the impulse purchases every single week. From a happiness perspective, feeling in control of your money increases confidence and reduces regret. So you shift from reactive spending to intentional living, and that shift builds calm. You see, those are real ripple effects. This isn't just about restriction, this is about long term freedom. And today's truth: you do not need more income to feel in control. A lot of people think you do, but it's not always about what you earn. Very often, it's about what you spend. So you don't need more income to feel in control. You just need more awareness about what you are spending. And within 7 days, you can discover everything you need to reset your direction in your personal journey. I end each episode by asking you a question that you can answer in the comments below. And today's question is this: if you started a spending freeze tomorrow on your non essential items, what would be the hardest expense for you to give up for 7 days? Have a think about it and let me know what springs to mind in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Big love, Big Daddy.